Okay, imagine a master key, a key built by a government designed to unlock pretty much any iPhone on the planet. Now imagine that key gets stolen and sold to the highest bidder. And now it's being used against, well, anyone. Sounds like a spy movie, right? Except it's not. This is very real, and it's being called the Coruna files. Let's get into it.
So our story kicks off with an absolute bombshell of a report from Google's threat intelligence team. They didn't just find a bug, they uncovered something huge. A catastrophic security failure that means right now there's a weapon on the loose.
And this is the heart of that weapon, a hacking toolkit codenamed Coruna. It's built on 23 secret, undiscovered vulnerabilities in Apple's iOS. Now, the critical part here isn't just that these flaws exist, it's that this toolkit was developed by a US government contractor. And then it was stolen. And the damage so far? It's staggering. We're talking at least 42,000 confirmed infected users. But here's the thing, that's only the number they found. The real number could be way, way higher. This isn't some small targeted attack anymore. This has escalated into a full-blown global crisis.
You know, the experts are not mincing words. Tech and Security Analysis puts it bluntly. This is the worst security leak in iOS history. When government tools leak, we're all at risk. And that's really the theme here. This goes way beyond a piece of software. It's about our own personal security in a world where these digital weapons just can't be contained.
So, what exactly is this weapon? And maybe more importantly, how does it actually work?
Okay, so here's the official breakdown. Coruna was built for US intelligence agencies to go after high-value targets. You know, terrorists, foreign spies, that sort of thing. But the whole game has changed. It's no longer a secret government tool. It's for sale on the black market, turning a weapon of national security into a weapon for hire.
So how does this thing actually get onto your phone? Coruna has 5 main ways in. You've got everything from malicious links to sketchy Wi-Fi networks, but I want you to look at the top of that list, the zero-click iMessage attack. It has a staggering 95% success rate. And that right there, that brings us to the most terrifying part of this whole thing, the zero-click attack. A hacker sends a message to your phone, and that's it. You don't have to open it, you don't have to click a link, you don't even have to see it. Your phone is compromised, and you never ever knew it happened. There's no warning and no chance to stop it.
So you have to be asking, how in the world did a top-secret American hacking tool end up being used by Chinese state-sponsored hackers? Well, let's trace its journey, because it is literally a plot from a spy movie. All right, let's follow the code. It starts in late 2025. The source code gets stolen and sold to APT29, a pretty notorious Russian spy group. Just a few months later, the Russians turn around and sell the toolkit to a Chinese hacking group, Volt Typhoon, for a cool $15 million in Bitcoin. By March of 2026, Volt Typhoon is unleashing it on high-profile targets all over the world. And Google's report, man, they do not pull any punches. They call it a complete security failure. And this line says it all. A tool built to protect us is now being used against us. It perfectly captures the terrifying irony of the situation. The shield has become the sword, and now it's pointed right back. So what happens when a weapon like this is actually unleashed on the world? Well, we're seeing the fallout right now. And it's a global crisis, complete with real-world victims and a whole lot of international finger-pointing. You can see the attacks are heavily concentrated in the United States, making up almost half of all known victims. And we're not talking about random people here. We're talking US senators, Fortune 500 CEOs, journalists. Next up is Europe, where politicians and reporters were also targeted. This isn't random. It's a massive strategic intelligence gathering operation. And what happened next was, well, pretty predictable. You get this huge geopolitical standoff. The US kicks off investigations, starts prepping charges. And on the other side, both China and Russia flatly deny everything. They call the accusations baseless, a political game. It's a classic playbook of international espionage and plausible deniability. So the big question is, where was Apple in all this? It looks like they were completely blindsided. Once Google tipped them off, they went into full-on crisis mode. To their credit, they pushed out an emergency patch, iOS 17.4.1, in just 48 hours, fixing all 23 flaws. But the damage to their reputation was already done. Everyone is asking the same question. Why didn't the world's most valuable tech company find these flaws themselves? Okay, we've talked about the threat, the leak, the fallout.
Now we get to the most important part of all of this. What can you actually do to protect yourself? Let's walk through your defense plan.
Here are 6 things you can do right now. Step 1, and this is non-negotiable. Update your phone. If you're not on iOS 17.4.1 or a newer version, you are vulnerable. That is the #1 thing you need to do. After that, scan your device. If you do find an infection, a full factory reset is your only real option. For anyone who thinks they might be a high-risk target, enabling lockdown mode is a really smart move. And of course, the basics still apply. Be careful and stay vigilant.
All right, finally, let's just zoom out. Because this entire crisis, it shines a spotlight on a much bigger, much more fundamental problem in the world of cybersecurity. And it's one that might not have a simple solution.
Cybersecurity expert Bruce Schneier frames it perfectly. He calls it the dual-use problem. You just can't build a weapon that only works for the good guys. Once a digital key like Coruna exists, it's really just a matter of time before it leaks or gets stolen or is sold. It will inevitably end up in the wrong hands.
And so that leaves us with this huge fundamental question. Should governments even be building these kinds of cyber weapons in the first place? If the very tools designed to keep us safe are almost guaranteed to one day be used against us, is the risk really worth the reward? That's the question at the very heart of the Coruna files, and it's one we're all going to have to think about.